Thank you, Sims. Now, meanwhile, the AmaZulu royal family says they've tightened security for the annual Reed dance at the Enyokeni Palace at Nongoma today. Let's across to our reporter, Nosipho Mncube, who's standing by. Nosipho, a very good morning to you. What update can you give us from Enyokeni?
A very good morning to you too. I am standing at the grounds where we do expect those maidens to be making their way after they have dropped or laid their reeds at Enyokeni Royal Palace, where His Majesty King MisuZulu will be meeting them and then having his address at this very venue that I'm standing at. I just want to stand out of shot and just show you some of the preparations that are underway. We do see that the maidens are still making preparations just below the fields, just further back below the fields. Some of them we did see making their way up. I did manage to have a conversation with them, and they have indicated to me that they were making their way up to meet Inkosazana, or the royal representative, a member of the family who will be leading that Reed dance when they make their way up to Enyokeni Palace. But we do expect the program to begin at 10 o'clock this morning when they have concluded the ceremonies, the first leg of the ceremonies, where we earlier broadcasted with my colleague Bongani Gema. They will be making their way up with their reeds, as we have indicated, and then they will be making their way back into these grounds where they will be addressed by their king, as well as in attendance by other dignitaries, as well as delegates, as well as members of the public. But hopefully we do manage to have a conversation with more members of the public, especially the parents or the family members of these maidens who have come out in their numbers. Yesterday we received numbers ranging from 40 to 60 of the buses that were making their way here, but we have seen far more numbers than what we were told yesterday, and we are still yet to speak to a representative from the KwaZulu-Natal provincial government about the preparations that were underway, how they are feeling, their remarks about today's event, as well as the statement that we saw being issued yesterday. But that is it from me, Lebo. I'm just going to hand over to my colleague Bongani Gema, who has more for us.
Well, thank you again. We are still here waiting for the maidens to return from the field where they are fetching the reeds. As you can see, still bustling, many of them. I mean, they love the camera. They are proud of what they are wearing. They are proud of what they have achieved. Yes, they are here to celebrate. We've been hearing, their minders, and other maidens throughout the day, saying that today is their day to celebrate their accomplishment. That's for a year now. They've remained virgin. But there's been those stories. Oh, sorry. Excuse me. Sorry. Pardon for that. I was saying before we were interrupted by the happy maidens. There have been critics, who've been saying that, why these maidens are coming here, but they are still men, being part of this. Why cannot be only be maidens who are here to be with the king and listen to their king addressing them? Others saying that, why are boys, not going through a similar, tradition, where they are being taught, how to behave as young boys. I have with me a Zulu historian, Ukaya Ndwandwe, who's going to be speaking to us a bit more, about the Zulu traditional practices, that are in place to make sure that, young boys also, keep themselves pure and also, behave accordingly in society. Kaya, we thank you very much for joining us here at the SABC. Kaya, while we were standing here, we saw regiments, coming in, while this is a ceremony for young girls. Why do regiments who are men have to be here? Angibonge ngibingelele mfowethu siyabonga kakhulu ukuthi ekugcineni kosuku umkhosi ugcina ube lapha. Into eyenza ukuthi kube khona ke nabantu besilisa la ibutho lize ngegaba ezimbili la zingane zebutho lezi zizobheka ukuthi iphephile yini. Uma ngabe ke isilo sesokwamukela uMhlanga sizophuma phakathi esigodlweni njengoba usibona njena ibutho yilona eliphelekezela isilo nelihamba nesilo bezokwamukela uMhlanga kulezi imbalo ezibonayo njengamanje.
Ngicela manje siye osikweni labafana ukuthi siyayibona izintombi zinomkhosi woMhlanga, izintombi ziyahlolwa, izintombi zihamba oanti abayazi abayihlolayo ngasemakhaya zifundiswe ngokuyiphatha, kodwa asizwa lutho ngabafana bona bafundiswa nini ukuthi bayiphathe kanjani emphakathini.
Likhona nelabafana ukuthi ngoba kusenganako kuye kuthiweke ngolabafana kuyobuthwa ibutho lithathe livele ngalelo gama lapha khona bebulala inkunzi emnyama ilapho ke insizwa khona isuke zizobuthwa khona zizoyalwa ingeniswa lapha esibayeni esigodlweni nazo ziliba khona lapho kodwa kuba umkhosi wokweshwama kuthiwe zizobuthwa ibutho njengoba nezintombi nje nazo sazi ukuthi abazalwe ngo-1926 khona unqumndaba kube khona nezintombi zengcuce nazo nje isilo namhlanje singabanikeza igama kuthiwe butholini kusukela kulonyaka kuya kulonyaka. Abesilisa ke nabo ikhona indima abayidlalayo kakhulu, bayabizwa nabo bezoyalwa belulekwe nabo bese benikezwa igama lebutho uma ngabe sebeqedile. Ikuthi ngoba ke cishe bona beindaba abaligqamisi kakhulu nanokuthi abesilisa ke emhlabeni nje ke Mr Gema ababaningi abantu besifazana abaningi futhi ke bona bayibona abaphethe imbewu abantu besifazana yingakho ke beyalwa kakhulu nezinsizwa nazo ziyalithola lelo thuba lokuyalwa zinikezwe nebutho. Mina nje ibutho lami ngudakwa kusutha ngabuthwa lapha eZatsenyokeni ubaba wami nala.
Ukwangichazela eqaleni ukuthi nazo izintombi zinalo ibutho lazo zinako futhi ukuhlukana ngegaba, ngicela uphinde usichazele.
Izintombi zinokwehlukana nje ubabona nje bebangaka njena kufike kube khona amantombazane bese bekhula bengena esigabeni sobuntombi sebebizwa ngamatshitshike lapho sebekhulile lapho ke sebeqala sebeyalwa khona. Umeselo eseqomile ke futhi ungena kwesinye isigaba nemvunulo yabo ayifani ngoba ubabona nje bekanje iyehluka imvunulo yabo baba nezigaba. Ngiyakhumbula ukuthi sile esabuzile umhlokombane khona abanikeza ibutho kwakuthiwa ibuhlalo nabo banamabutho abo ngokwegaba zakhona njoba bekhona nje lapha babelonga to the certain group ngoba bekhona nabo kungenzeka mhlawumbe isilo masithandile sibanikeze igama lebutho njoba sazi ngeintombi zengcuce njena ezaduma kakhulu kwakuthiwa ikhanselwa amakhehla.
Sema kakhulu Ndwandwe. That is Kaya Ndandwe, the Zulu historian. Specifically, was just speaking to us about a Zulu tradition called UMkhosi wokushwama, where young boys are also taking through the same process of teaching them life skills, making sure that they treat themselves accordingly in society. Let me link now to my colleague Jade Lipolsa, who's also on standby.
The line dropped.
All right, as technology would have it, it seems that we have lost the line to Jade Lipolsa, but we will definitely try and go back to her in a bit. For now, though, let's take a quick ad break, and what we'll also do this morning, we'll see if we can't cross to our reporter, Dumela Machocho, who's tracking that accident for us that we've been reporting about all morning, Pongola. So we'll chat to him a little later about that. Quick ad break, and then...
And we'll cross back to Enyokeni Royal Palace in Nongoma, and my colleague Jade Lipolsa is standing by. Very good morning to you, Jade. Thank you so much for staying with us. And I see it's now becoming a hive of activities as thousands and thousands of girls are now descending on the Royal Palace. What do you have for us?
Well, a very good morning to you, Simon. You know, throughout the morning, we've been showing you the color, the festivity. We heard from Nosipo, who showed us the preparations that are also underway to make sure that this is a very smooth transition, that the ladies and the maidens make their way to the Royal Palace, where they will be following that first maiden who's going to give the king the first read. But we've been talking shop, we've been talking about color, we've been speaking to maidens. Bongani's also been speaking to maidens and asking them the significance of today. I want to go into the relevance as well, because I imagine many that are watching back at home want to understand this more and want to also unpack it with us. So I am joined by a cultural expert who's going to do this for us on the ground here, and she's been doing this for many, many years. I know that you're also speaking to cultural experts, but she has been walking with these maidens year in, year out, and she'll be telling us with regards to the process and how it's all put together. Thank you so much for joining us on SABC News, Mam Noma Gugu Ngobese. I first want to go into the relevance of having the Reed dance in the 21st century. Some would say that it's an archaic way of doing it. What do you say to those?
Wow. Thanks for having me. I must say, it is so significant in this 21st century, while we are facing so much social ills, and especially the young people. There is rape, there is molestations of young women and old women, in fact. And yes, some people they say it is controversial. It is controversial to them, not to us. Because as Zulus, as Sothos, as vendors, as Botswanas, we have the way of upbringing our own children. We've got the rituals which are the part of puberty. And where certain norms and values are instilled to the growing up. So someone can argue, because people want to argue. You cannot change your surname under no circumstances. Culture is your nose, is your surname. So the moment you change your culture, the moment you are going to cry at the end of the day, because you lose who you are. And there's a lot of things which goes with that. History. As it is here, we are facing a very good history of His Majesty the King. You see what has happened to empower his legacy. The negativity that was thrown to him have made him to be popular more than before, which we like most. And we are here to enjoy that. And the maidens, after 2 years, no Reed dance, they are here to revive themselves. And we are happy that they were not pregnant, because they wouldn't be like the men as they are right now. And I'm just saying to the people out there, if a white girl wants to be here, to be inspected, let her, because she likes himself. It's not a shame, because this is a natural phenomenon from God, the Creator. And my God is not he or she. People must understand it. Because if it's he and if it is she will lose. As we see that many men are out of their homes right now. God cannot change. Is a my mvelnqangi cannot be compared and contrasted with anything above or under. And all the creation is from the God, not from him. So we are here to celebrate nature with these natural girls, natural things, beautiful things. Their body, they're sparkling. You can see. So they're full of life. And so what?
And I just want to come in there. So we see this Reed dance take place, and you were saying that it was a 2-year hiatus. We never had that for 2 years because of the COVID-19 pandemic. And this is the first time that they're coming together. So they're seeing their friends. There's a lot of excitement in the air. But I want to ask, you're saying that this is also helping with social ills, that it's combating that you're also grooming and teaching the young girls how to behave, and also grooming them how to carry themselves in society, right? But what about the young boys? Should there not be something equally for them if we're talking about young girls going through this process?
Yeah. When I've been employed at the Premier's office maybe 9 years ago, I told them that something must be done for boys. Because in South Africa, boys are not loved at all. There are no programs. And of course, we are busy with the girls. What are the men doing with the boys? They always ask us, but the girls, of course we must have the girls, because they are giving birth for the children that they don't even know their fathers because of rape. So we need boys to be involved here. And we are here as this institution, Nomkhubulwane, to help those men who can see the need, because there is a need. You cannot tell me in South Africa that when you groom a boy, you are grooming him to go to jail. That is insane. I'm sorry to say that, but it's quite right. We are not giving love to the boys. The state itself don't love boys. I've been saying this many days. And they established men's forum. Men's forum for what? You can teach someone who is married, you can teach him to be morally correct. How could you? Because you must start at the young age. And South Africa has failed with moral regeneration. And I'm asking myself, whose morals are where? Who caused this? And I can tell you why. The government, the Department of Education, they hate these girls. All over, the girls think maybe there's pregnancy in schools. Pregnancy is allowed. There are condoms are allowed. For whose kids they are there? You know, when you look at culture, you abstain. You are educated, you must learn. I've got teachers here, I've got nurses, I've got, a lot of careers. But the problem is, there is clash between the Department of Education and Culture. And unfortunately, since 1994, we didn't enjoy any culture. They do this festival, not that they like. It's because they want the world outside to see as if they are with the people. Why pregnancy? Why the grants of those who are having children?
Thank you so much for your time, Mum Ngobesi. That was cultural expert. Very fascinating, very interesting. And I also just want to make mention to Lani behind the camera can show you before I hand over back to studio that the white beads signify purity. And we've been seeing a lot of color, but it's also good to know that, the white beads signify purity. And what does the black bead signify? Very quickly, Mama.
The black beads we have just blended to showcase that we are women. We cannot wear white. So we respect white for maidens only.
Okay, well, there you have it. That was the cultural expert, Nomagugu Ngobese. We're going to go back to Yusum in studio.
All right, Jade, great chatting to you. Thank you so much for your time. Jade Leposa there is at the Enyogeni Royal Palace in KwaNongoma.